So the first fundamental class is going to be about line, shapes and shading. So let's get into it.
First stage we'll learn how to draw freehand lines. So you can take any paper and just randomly try to create some straight lines like this. Try to hold your pencil very gently like a brush. You will be able to produce better marks on the paper if your grip is relaxed and there is no tension in your hand or arm. And with practice you'll notice that you'll be able to get some control in your hand and you'll be able to draw straight lines. And to learn this even more easily, the best method is to use the dot method. And by using these dots as references, we'll be able to draw lines very easily. And if these two dots are difficult, make it more easy for yourself by creating 3 dots and then practice drawing lines on them and set your hand and get control over your pencil or any other tool that you'll be using later. And now let's practice some diagonal lines. Just keep your attention on the line and have good control over the pencil and your hand will perform exactly what you want to draw. Keep practicing them till the time you're confident or you're able to create straight or diagonal lines. Now let's learn how to draw semicircles. And this is great for having control on your fingers for creating curves and those round strokes that we require for drawing and for paintings. For practicing these spirals, just go in circular direction like this and create spirals. This is again very good hand setting exercise, and control of the hand is the basic technique you must learn if you wish to draw well. The more you practice these lines and spirals, you will get greater accuracy in drawings and paintings later. Now that we have practiced semicircles and spirals, we'll be able to draw a circle by joining 2 semicircles like this. Don't worry at all if you don't get it in the first stage. Just practice. We are here just to learn and each of us have our own beautiful art journey. So give some time to yourself, focus on practicing without thinking or fearing about the results. You can practice them on these blank sheets or you can always use the rule notebooks that you already have. The lines that are already present on the notebook will help you as reference lines and you can always follow them and practice on them and then go ahead and practice on blank papers later for better accuracy. And in stage 2, let's learn shading. To make our objects look 3D, we need to learn shading. And before we begin, let's first know about how to hold the pencil. So never point it directly on the top like this and shade. This is not going to help us in blending. Try not to hold the pencil on the tip like this. Gently hold it somewhere on the center area, which will give you more relaxed movement to create the perfect blend while shading. So here I am using my pencil and moving in the direction of line. I am applying slightly more pressure here so that I get a darker shade. And while moving downwards, I am releasing and lowering down the pressure on the pencil so that I can fade off the shade when I reach to the end point. And we can always go back again and blend if we see any harsh line. And again we'll apply more pressure on the top to get more intensity of our pencil graphite and then gently move downwards to get this kind of blended effect. Don't rush on these hand setting exercises, concentrate on the movement of pencil on the paper, repeat them until you feel sure and relaxed, don't feel tensed at all, this will be fun for you once you enjoy practicing them. Now how do we know that we have created the right blend? To check that, create sections of lines like this and just notice the intensity of our graphite. So it should be darkest on the top where we begin and then it should be lightest or fade down at the end like this. We'll now practice some diagonal blending, so we'll start from the corner. Again apply slightly more pressure, don't apply a lot of pressure. We just want the shade of the graphite to be darkest on the top and lightest when we reach the end of our subject. Practice them again and again, and this will help you in shading and blending later. This is very important and we need to focus on this a lot for understanding shading and getting good control over pencil and for setting our hand. Till then you can practice the shading technique, which will help you in getting more control over your hand, and with time this practice will reflect on your artwork when you'll be able to paint better and you'll do better blending and improve your skills. And now let's learn about 3D shapes. So here, as you can see, I drew a square. And this is a 2D figure right now, so to make it 3D, let's convert it into a cube. For that, I'll again draw a square on the center to our previous square. And then join the corners and we'll get the cube. So once we get this shape, we'll now use the shading technique that we learned earlier to make this appear 3D. To give the impression of depth, we need to use shading to create 3D shapes. As you can see, shading helps in creating the illusion of 3D dimensions. So this is the importance of shading that we practiced and learned before, and this is helping us right now in adding depth to our subject. You can always rotate your sheet according to your comfort. At the end, we need to make art easy and relaxing for ourselves. So always make yourself comfortable and then go ahead and shade. So now we are assuming that the light is falling on this side, so we'll add depth on the corner area as this area is away from the light area, so this will be darker. And we always need to remember this, that the area which is closest to the light will be the brightest and the area which is away from the light area will be the darkest. And now I'll draw a circle and we'll learn some circular shading. Just lightly shade over half area first to get the basic shade idea. So here, as you can see, I'm following the curved direction to create shadows. So we always create shadows in the direction and shape of our subject. Like here, I'm not creating these straight lines for creating shadows. I'm purposely creating these curved semicircular lines to create shadows on my circle. And then add more intensity of graphite on the bottom area to make this area appear darker. And in this case, the light is falling from the top area, so the top portion will be the brightest and the bottom area will receive shadow from the top as it is away from the light source. And now we'll add shadow of the sphere that will be falling on the surface. So this will be a shadow that will fade on the corner area like this. And now our circle looks 3D like a sphere. Shaded heavily here as this area will receive the darkest shadow. So this portion will be darkest and then it will fade out at the corner. So always remember to add shadows to make our subject look more natural and realistic. So I hope this class was useful to you and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Till then, take care and thanks for watching. Bye.